So why do people buy this? It's because it looks cool, right? So if a product looks cool, you may be able to get a design patent. If it looks cool, you get a design patent, right?
Yeah.
I got this big mannequin over here that I'm dying to bring into the middle of the screen. Can I do that?
Yeah, bring him over. Bring him over.
I'm gonna hold him over here and bring him over here.
This is Ziggy. This is Ziggy. Is our
I don't know if Ziggy can see
Ziggy's
this.
our demonstration.
Yeah. So like this guy right here, a skull like that, you can get a design patent that if you really wanted to. Is it worth it? I don't know. Maybe, this cool thing here, right?
That's the Pro Sledge.
Pro Sledge, okay. Probably get a design patent as well on the design. Is that gonna be defendable? Maybe, maybe not. It depends on why people buy it, right? The functionality of these pockets and where they are, maybe like one pocket is like really great for something, and everybody who uses guns or I don't know, snowboards like the pocket right there. If it's like the right pocket, the right place, maybe the functional features of that may be protectable, That's kind of, it just depends, And again, it's all about giving you a competitive advantage. Don't put this, sorry, Ziggy. All right. Yeah, Ziggy is, oh man, I'm going to fall him over. Okay. All right. Think he's going to fall? I'm going to leave him this way, just in case. So,
man, you're killing me.
Okay. Okay. So, Ziggy's he's got sweet kicks too.
Yeah. Why is it so important to patent your ideas? Man, we get so many people that we work on people's products, and a lot of people want to get patents, but they don't really understand why to get a patent. So Derek Fahey's here from the Plus IP firm. I'll let him explain it in his words, man.
Competitive advantage, my man. Sometimes you don't need a patent to sell a product. That's the first thing. But it does provide you with a big competitive advantage, and also you're able to. It's like a barrier to entry, right? So if you have a patent, then somebody else, if a competitor comes around, they gotta figure out if they can actually sell it. They gotta hire an attorney to figure out if they can get around it. So it's just a competitive advantage,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So and so it's an advantage in the country that you file that in, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, for example, we're in the United States. So if you have a U.S. patent, you are able to protect and prevent other people from selling the product or service in the United States. If you want to protect that, do the same thing in the EU or in Germany, you have to get a specific patent for those countries. Interestingly, the EU now has a unitary patent system
that covers all the all of nice. So one file, so you file it one. So you do your PCT, right?
Yeah.
And then the PCT is you want to.
Yeah, sure. A PCT application, if you're going to file internationally, what the PCT application does is there's actually 157 countries that's part of this treaty, and you can file an application, and then within 19 months of filing that PCT application, you can elect which jurisdictions you want to go to. For example, you want to go to China, you want to go to Singapore, you want to go to maybe UAE, you can elect those countries and you can get a patent in those countries.
And you said that it's okay. And then how many of those countries are included in that European?
The ones in the EU, right?
Yeah. So do you know how many of those are?
I honestly would have to guess, but the big ones, Germany, UK actually would be part of that system, Austria, Switzerland, the big guys.
Okay. And it's a one fee, is it like a much larger fee to do?
Yeah, the more countries, so the more countries that you would file and try to get a patent in, the higher the cost is. So,
but inside of the EU also, it's not like a one for all of EU. It's each country separately.
This system allows you to do, for example, if you want to go for the entire Europe for the EU, you do actually a unitary patent for the EU. That's how you do it. Yeah.
And is it do you know how much roughly that would?
I honestly would have to guess, but a good budget, and the foreign filings are actually a little more costly. Yeah.
There's
So
translations and
yeah,
stuff like that as well.
well, yeah, exactly. Especially like in China, Japan, those South Korea, those are a little more costly. But I think a good budget for a jurisdiction, even though when we file a U.S. patent, a lot of the work is the same. It's the same application. There's some minor changes for like style and format for those other countries, but a lot of the fees in those countries are like the filing fees. So over the course of it, a good budget is probably like $10,000. So it's more costly. So
So 10 to do the international.
yeah, for each jurisdiction. So it tends to be more costly. So what's cool about the PCT is it allows you to delay that cost for a longer period of time. So we're here in the US, so a lot of people will say, and I tell clients this, that unless you are willing to commit to those countries and are able to afford that, it may make sense to file a PCT first and delay those costs until down the line when you actually realize, hey, we can actually are going to expand that market. So
right. So it requires a small investment to lock down the PCT, and then that basically buys you about
19 months. Yeah, 19 months. That's what it buys you. Yeah, and it's different. For example, one of the big differences in Europe, for example, is like we don't pay fees before we get the patent. We pay, to file and stuff like that. But to keep your application pending in Europe, you got to pay a fee before you even get the patent. So I think every year they make you pay a fee to keep it going. So that's where it gets costly is the fees you got to pay the government.
And then in the U.S., it's a little bit different, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I think it's like on the 7th year, there's a fee.
Yeah, so there's different years. So there's maintenance fees after you get the patent. So you have to pay a fee to get the patent issued, and then every so many years you have to pay a fee called a maintenance fee to keep the patent active. I mean, it's a government revenue making system. I think the U.S. Patent Office and the IRS are like the two only like money making machines for the U.S. I think. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure. Definitely IRS. Yeah. But the U.S. they make money for that. That's what they make a lot of their fees.
Do you know how many? Do you know how many patents are coming out each year by any chance in the U.S.?
I mean, I don't know for sure, but I would say they're probably hundreds, if not thousands, a week. Yeah. Every a week. Yeah.
So like, I mean, it's over what, like a couple million patents?
Oh no. Well, right now I think we're like in the 12 million or 13 million patents issued. Probably ChatGPT and find out. There you go.
382,000 patents granted in 2022.
Okay.
325,000 of which were the utility, which is typically the stronger patents in most apps.
For sure, broader scope, yeah.
So which leads me to the question actually, and then 35,000 design patents. That's interesting.
Yeah. I'm hoping to get a cannabis plant patent coming in here soon. Mostly fingers crossed, man. Really high THC, high THC, high CBD content. Pretty cool.
Nice. Mm-hmm. And it looks like there's 10 million patents.
There's more than that, right?
Currently granted.
For sure, it's more than that.
Well, some of them fall off though, right after they become inactive or whatever. What is the right term? Whenever after the
term expires. Okay. Yeah, after 20 years for utility. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What was patent number 1? See who that is.
Well, how much is a patent worth?
Oh, it depends. That's a great question, man. $1 million question.
Yeah, right. This is the average U.S. patent costs about 50,000 plus or minus.
Wow, that's a lot.
That seems like a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's more than our firm. Yeah. We're less than that.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. When you're searching stuff on Google, you kind of have to filter through yourself.
The USPTO. Have you ever seen the USPTO dashboard? I got to show you this.
Let's do it.
Go type in USPTO dashboard. This is actually pretty cool. USPTO.
Type in dashboard?
Yeah, dashboard. We got a dashboard patents. There you go. Click on the first link. Check this out, man. People are like, how long does it take to get a patent? They tell you right there, man. Go down, go to, I'll show you. So we're going to go to right here. You're going to click on this guy right here, filing data right here.
Design data.
Yeah, click that guy.
This one?
Yep. Okay, that's how many applications. Go back. And some
So-
unexamined applications.
Unexamined.
Yeah.
Unexamined as of.
July 2023.
Oh wow! So this is showing you. I mean, so.
Yeah, it's cool, right?
Well, yeah, but this is telling me that the number of unexamined applications is going up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's telling you. Go back. I'll show you some more cool data. This is kind of
And then
cool.
what's this one? This is application filings.
Yeah.
So the application filings are going up by 50K a month. It looks like, if this is correct. And yeah, they're not getting through them very much.
If you go back up, I want to show you something. Go back a little bit. Oh, no, sorry.
So there's 8,000 examiners on staff.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Go back. You go back.
Oh wow! So they've actually hired 100.
They're staffing up, man. Tech is on the rise.
I've never seen this page, so I was looking.
Go back. I'll show you. Go back. Yeah, there you go. I'm going to show you one. Hold on. So go to pendency data. It's on the right column. Okay, so that's how long when you file an application. 17 months is the average time it takes to wait. Okay, 17.6 is going up. Okay, so if you go back go back to the last page. There's what's called track one. If your clients can afford it, click on track one. That's how long it takes if you accelerate it and pay. You got to pay the piper, man. You gotta show me some ducats, right?
Speaking of paying the piper, man. So what does it cost to get? This is crazy, man. Like so, which positions anybody who has money to be able to get their ideas looked at much faster.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Welcome to America.
Yeah, right.
Can we help you?
Yeah. It's convenience, right?
Yeah.
I mean.
Hey, man.
It's convenient to get a patent looked at in 2 months versus 17 months.
Yeah.
Imagine that to get your first look at your patent.
Yeah. Well, there's good news.
Tell me, Matt.
There is something called the first-time filer program.
Okay.
And it allows the USPTO put out this new program. It's like for the first 1,000 applicants, and you have to be what's considered a micro entity. And then you have to actually
micro entity, meaning that it's
less than a certain amount of revenue per year,
right?
And you also have to have filed less than a certain amount of patents.
So basically, anytime you're starting a new company, you have zero income. So right?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, it's based upon the inventor. So, but that's one way you can expedite for free.
And I heard you actually were one of the first to get that.
I think I'm the first, like one of the first 50.
All right, man.
Shout out to my client Frank. I'm not going to say his last name.
What's up, Frank?
Frank, if you're watching this, so and then there's another way you can do it. You can do it if you are over 65 years of age.
Okay.
So if grandma and grandpa are working with the grandson, grandma can apply for this expedited filing status for free. This is for free.
Nice.
So if you got an older client, just one of the inventors has to be over 65 years of age, and you can petition to expedite it based upon it. It's called accelerated based upon age. Petition to make special because of age, to be technical. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean,
For free.
So,
you gotta know the tricks.
Which is, I mean, that's easily what, a couple $1,000 savings right there.
$2,000 is what it. I think it's like. I think it's like it's between $500 and $1,000 or so. I'm drawing a blank on the exact number.
Yeah, somewhere in there, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's kind of cool, right?
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah. So next time your clients ask you how long to get a patent, you're like, oh, let me show you this little dashboard.
That's really
here.
cool, actually. I've first time seeing this dashboard, so thanks for sharing that, man.
Yeah, man.
And this is just
so the bottom one where it says track one from petition to file. That's
man.
So you're gonna know in 5 months if you can get a patent.
So we expedited ours, I believe. We did.
I don't think you did.
Yeah, we did, man.
Did you?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, because it happened in under a year. It happened in like 8 or 9 months.
That's
actually.
right. That's right. So we did. That's one way you can do it. So sometimes it just opportunity costs, and sometimes you don't want to expedite it. Sometimes you want to drag it out. If you have a client that says they want to file and they're not sure if there's a low probability if you can get a patent, you may want to delay the examination process as long as possible to get as much marketing juice out of that patent pending status. And also you may depending on what you're doing, you may want to delay so that competitors don't know what you're doing. So there's different techniques you can do to slow down the process.
Yeah, because as soon as you get that patent, it becomes public knowledge, right? I mean, from the day they say, okay, you got the patent,
Right.
how many days until it becomes public data?
So once you file an application, you have 18 months from the time you're first filed to it's published. So whether it's a provisional, which is one type of application, or a non-provisional, which is another type of application, 18 months after the filing date, it publishes. Now, what's cool about this?
The PPAs all publish?
No, they don't publish at all.
Right. The non-provisional.
Yeah. So PPA, you mean provisional patent application,
yes,
right?
Correct.
Okay. So provisionals, they don't publish. They're only publicly available if you file a non-provisional, which is another type of application, claims a benefit of the provisional. All right. So what's cool about this is if you're going to be filing international, if you expedite it, you kind of know if you're going to get a patent before the deadline to file this PCT application. You can make some really good business decisions about that. So that's a really cool thing. I wrote an article, you may have seen that before, about like strategies to get patents faster, and that's one of the strategies about, hey, when should I file international and stuff like that. Something you may want to think about with your clients. This page is awesome, man. So every time someone says, hey, how long does it get a patent, you can say, I don't know, let's look it up. That's all real. That's all fairly live data.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's cool, right?
So you can see, look, the track 1 applications is going up.
Oh yeah, man, because they're so slow. And then what does the government do? Sure, we'll take your money. I mean, it's no brainer for the government. Generally speaking, if the clients can afford it, they're gonna want to expedite it.
Yeah.
But again, you don't need, for your stuff, you don't need a patent, right? You don't need an actual patent to get to sell a product. You just you just need to develop a great product that sells, right? That's part of the hard part.
So I was looking at something. We were scrolling through some of your. Oh, actually, so Derek has an amazing YouTube channel, by the way, guys. You want to check this out. It's Derek Fahey Esquire, ESQ, right?
Yep.
And the Plus IP firm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And so definitely check this out, guys. A lot of really well edited videos and really good information here in general. So definitely look through these. We'll put a link in our. We'll put a link down in the information for your YouTube page and all that stuff.
Shout out to Jesus.
Yeah. Jesus, thank you. So Jesus works with Derek and handles a lot of their graphic and their video stuff. So he's been busy with these guys. Any particular video here that you would recommend that somebody watch?
It depends on what they want, right?
Yeah,
So what I typically do is all the questions I get from clients that are general, I try to put a video up there. So, hey, what's the difference between an independent and dependent claim? All different types. I'm trying to put as much content up there to add value for people. Yeah.
Dude.
Okay, cool.
What else we got here? So, okay, this one question, I get this one. I mean, I see this a lot. I see a lot of companies. Okay, an inventor usually tries to go and they'll find whatever company they can find, an invention promotion company, or they'll go to maybe a patent company first. Usually before they go to a product development company.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So because people are so afraid of somebody stealing my idea, somebody's going to steal my idea, I need to get a patent. And, so I kind of just want to talk a little bit about that, man. And because I find out that a lot of people, instead of getting a utility patent, they end up getting a design patent.
Yeah.
And I think people in general want to feel good about, hey, I got a patent.
Yeah.
But I mean, did they really get something? You know what I'm saying? Like, is there any, can they really monetize that patent?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's that's why I let off with that. Not every great idea or not every good idea you can get a patent for. Maybe the idea, somebody thought about it 300 years ago, and because of that was out there for so long, it's no longer patentable, right? So it depends on what the product is. I have a couple of products here that actually you and I worked on. This is actually, we got a design patent for this. This is actually your client's design. You designed this. And so this is just a stopper that you put on your sunglasses so they don't sink.
They're like eyeglass floating retainers so that if you drop, let's say for boaters or
Yeah.
whatever, you drop your sunglasses, it brings them up to the top.
That's right.
It's like a buoy.
Yeah, it's a buoy, right? So buoys for sunglasses, that's not new. Can't really add many functional features, right? So why do people buy this? It's because it looks cool, right? So if a product looks cool, you may be able to get a design patent. And that's kind of one of the best ways to describe it. And a design patent protects the, what the patent law language is, the ornamental features of the invention. But if it looks cool, you get a design patent, right?
Yeah.
I got this big mannequin over here that I'm dying to bring into the middle of the screen. Can I do that?
Yeah, bring him over. Bring him over.
I'm gonna hold him over here and bring him over here.
This is Ziggy. This is Ziggy. Is our
I don't know if Ziggy can see
Ziggy's our demonstration.
Yeah. So like this guy right here, a skull like that, you can get a design patent that if you really wanted to. Is it worth it? I don't know. Maybe. This cool thing here, right?
That's the Pro Sledge.
Pro Sledge, okay. Probably get a design patent as well on the design. Is that gonna be defendable? Maybe, maybe not. It depends on why people buy it, right? The functionality of these pockets and where they are, maybe like one pocket is like really great for something, and everybody who uses guns or I don't know, snowboards like the pocket right there. If it's like the right pocket, the right place, maybe the functional features of that may be protectable, That's kind of it depends,
Right.
And again, it's all about giving you a competitive advantage. Don't put this. Sorry, Ziggy. All right. Yeah, Ziggy is. Oh man, I hope I don't fall him over. Okay. All right. Think he's gonna fall.
He's good.
We'll leave him like this way, just in case. So.
Oh man, you're killing me.
Okay. Okay. So he's got sweet kicks too.
Yeah, man.
This is actually, I didn't work on this product. This is actually a really cool product. Like this design, you probably can get a design patent on this because the shape may not be worth it, but potentially, I remember you said you had to overcome some challenges in the manufacturing of that. What I tell clients is if there's some challenges that you overcome in your design, that the overcoming part, the functional, like the actual structure that overcomes that challenge.
That is the solution that was maybe patentable.
Yeah, maybe patentable. Yeah.
Right.
So that's kind of something. But again, you don't always need a patent. Sometimes it's a branding play, and you just got to be first to market and first to market fast.
Yeah. How about in like licensing situations, is a provisional patent enough in a licensing situation?
Yeah. So provisional patent application is just an application. It's not a granted patent.
Right.
Okay. You can certainly get a licensing agreement to license technology that's associated with the provisional patent application. That's something you can do. But generally speaking, if I'm advising a client on getting a licensing agreement on a provisional patent application, if it doesn't become a granted patent, there's got to be a reason why I'm going to pay a licensing fee.
Right. It'll be contingent on getting the patent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So a lot of times provisional patent applications in your world are great because maybe they want to lock in the idea so that they can disclose the idea and still have some sort of patent protection, because in the US, if you disclose your invention for more than a year, you can't get a patent, right?
Guys, I want that to be repeated.
Oh, yes.
Please.
If you disclose your invention, go ahead.
And it's publicly, right?
Publicly, yeah.
So does that mean like I told my buddy about it? Or it means like I have to tell a huge audience of it? Like,
that's a great question. So, if you post it on Facebook, the patent office will find your Facebook post and we'll literally cite your Facebook post and say, hey, listen, this has been out there for more than a year and therefore you're not able to get a patent. So if you get a post on Facebook, make sure you file some sort of patent application, a provisional patent application. If you're developing the product, maybe a better idea. So for example, you develop products. I'm looking around the room. There's tons of different products here. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, I'm sure, you tell me, someone comes in with an idea, how much different is it when the final product goes out?
Very different usually.
Yeah. So all those changes happen, right?
Yeah, and that's why I try to get my clients to not do the patents right away. I try to get like a provisional in the beginning, let us have a chance to work through the kinks of the product, right? And then do a non-provisional.
You got it.
But most clients don't come in that way. Most clients go to the patent attorneys first, they get a PPA and probably already start working towards the utility patent.
Yeah.
And then they reach out to us, and then what happens is our hands are kind of tied behind our backs because we have to follow exactly what's in that patent now.
Gotcha.
And then we find out that, well, it doesn't really work the way we wanted it to work, guys. So what do? Do we continue down this route, or do we come up with a solution that makes more sense?
Yeah.
And then a lot of times that new solution is going to require a new patent.
Yeah.
And I had that happen recently to a client of ours, man, and there was nothing I could do about it. Like if I wanted to provide him a solution that worked, I had to change
the whole device.
Yeah, we had to change something. So,
yeah, another big difference between the international and the U.S. is in the U.S. we can file what's called continuation patent applications and get continuations in part. So
which basically means
another patent on a different or change of scope, right? Unlike that, in Europe and China, you can't do that. You can't add new content to the patent application to get continuation in parts and continuation patent applications and divisionals. You can't do that. So the U.S. has a big advantage in that respect. But if you file internationally, you can't file continuations in part. It's a big difference actually. Yeah.
So I find that my clients, I get clients from all over the world now. All over the U.S. and Canada mostly. So where do you work out of mostly? How do you work with your clients? What's your
so we have clients all over the nation, and we work in person if they need to meet in person. We work, a lot of it is on Zoom. We do a lot of the stuff. We have a CAD file. We talk about the CAD file. Happy when people can definitely come to my office and meet me. But sometimes when they come in their office, I'm looking at a computer screen. We're looking at the CAD file on a computer screen, quite honestly. So I find Zoom is awesome, or any sort of video conferencing, or go to their facility to see what they're going on, especially if they have, if they're in development stage and they want you to show you how these valves work or want you to see something. I find that going to the facility or asking them to take a video and sending me the video via email or phone or whatever the case may be, so I can see, hey, this is what this is. But what about you? You do a lot of stuff in Zoom, right?
We do. This is, product development is a very hands-on thing. Somebody has to eventually make a physical prototype.
Yeah.
So for us, it's not a big deal. We make the prototype, we analyze it, we ship it to the client. The client checks it out, sees if there's any adjustments that need to be made. I always let my clients know that no product's going to be designed in one prototype. It'll take 2 to 3, which is really on the I guess more budget friendly, I guess, right? Because I cut my teeth designing for people that don't have large budgets, right? It's not huge. I've worked with larger corporations, and I've always also worked with people that don't have much budget to work with. So I've had to create a process that allows me to deliver them a solution as well, right? So it made me have to refine my process so that we don't do as many prototypes, and but we need to get far enough along where we can take the product at the end to the manufacturer.
Yeah, so great question for you. So what are the phases? People come to me all the time and say, I got to talk to some prototyping company. What do I do? Well, how much do they charge? The first thing, I don't know what you charge, but what are the phases? Because I know there's different phases of the design process. When someone comes to you with a napkin and says, hey, Rodrigo, this idea, I want to make this and sell this. What are the stages of that? How does that work?
Yeah, I'll show you right now.
Okay, you got something here?
Yeah, so if you go to my website, limecreativedesign.com, so this is perfect for you to share with anybody and here there's a little, so basically this is the development process.
Okay.
And if you have the right funding, then you're able to do the product development on the top while we're creating the brand development on the bottom, as you see there.
Yeah.
If we don't have as much budget to work with, a lot of times we'll have to end up putting this over here.
Gotcha.
So it stretches out it takes a little longer that way. But concept development's the first phase, and you see that I have provisional patent search and provisional patent right here, where the reason for doing this is that we want to have a chance to think the product through, sketch it out, and have a couple ideas drawn out so that we can discuss it with the attorneys and say, hey, look, these are the different ideas that we came up with. What do you think has the most patentable chance?
Yeah.
So, and that's one of the reasons why I like working with you, Derek, because we can talk about that and you can help us kind of, think through
it, yeah.
Hey, well, probably not that one because that one's already been done too much, but these two are different. So yeah, let's focus on that, and you can get patents on things that on other embodiments that you're not going to use necessarily as a defense strategy. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And to your point, shifting the funding strategy, what I like about this is, remember I said, hey, sometimes you want to delay the cost for international filing.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to delay the cost so you can put the money into product development or put the money into marketing and advertising. I tell clients all the time, don't pay me, get the product going, and then if we can still file the application for international protection once it's been proved, let's do it then. That's why the PCT for international filing is so huge, because you can delay all those really big costs so you can focus on marketing and product development and stuff like that.
Yeah. So like steps are really concept development, right? Which is thinking through the idea, looking at the competition, what has been done already, right? We don't want to copy what somebody else has done. So we need to analyze the landscape and see, okay, well, they've done this and this, but they haven't done this. So we want to look for those, for those gems, right? For those novelties. So that's all done through research and sketch right here. We're also we're not just making a product though, we're designing a product for a price point, right? So that's very important, man, because that's, anybody can, okay, I can make this here, but how can you guarantee that you're going to make this for around $10 so that I can sell it for 50?
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So we take that very serious in this first phase. We need to think it through. So then after we design the product, we have it sketched out. We know what it's going to look like. Then we create the 3D modeling.
What is that?
3D modeling is creating, it's basically programming a 3D file so that it stores the information of your product and how it's built and how thin the walls are and how it's hinged. All those details are all in the file.
Okay. And what's the difference between 3D modeling, 3D modeling and 3D sculpting? So 3D modeling is more mechanical, where 3D sculpting is more like a character design. For example, if you're doing like the Hulk, right? So this is not designed using the same software. One is it's a mesh based. The other one's called parametric modeling, which is a little bit different. It's it's a different style of modeling. All right, so you got a model, you got it good to go.
Now we create the general model, and now we need to get into the engineering. Right. So, and there's a reason why I do it this way, because a lot of other people will do the engineering first and then skin the engineering. Basically, what we like to do is we like to say, hey, look, we want this product to look kind of like this. So this 3D model creates the general design, right? And then the engineering is coming in and cutting it out and adding the details, the hinges, the snaps,
how thick this has to be, what the tolerance are, is this going to break?
Yep, all that. So these are all the details, and then we'll have a bill of materials and your blueprints basically, so that we want everybody that works with us to know exactly what's going on. So when they sign that document, that agreement, or when they sign the tech pack, that basically allows us to take and do the first prototype.
Okay, what's a tech pack?
Tech pack is basically your dimensional information of your product. Right. So it's overall dimensions. It's 3 inch by whatever, 3 by 4 by 1. It has 2 screws. It has 2 parts that come together and get glued. Whatever it is, those details are laid out and create in a basically in blueprints.
Okay, so how different are engineering drawings from like the concept development of 3D modeling? How different is it?
Very different. These are more loose. Concept sketching is done through digital sketching and rendering. So it's imagine it's almost like we're photoshopping, and we're sketching and photoshopping in this phase right here. And then these bill of materials here are it's more about precision, right? So this is loose. And then this is defining. They're defining exactly what we're going to make.
So the tech pack, can you take if I got a tech pack from you, could I say, okay, thanks, Rodrigo, I'm going to go to manufacturer X. And then you could say, hey, take this tech pack and make it. Can you do that?
You could do that. Just remember that the tech pack needs to be adjusted as the prototypes are made.
Okay.
So that's a living document that
Changes
that modifies as you go through the process. But yeah, the goal is to have something that you can go to a manufacturer and get apples to apples pricing.
Are you manufacturing in the U.S., China? Like tell me about how that works.
Yeah. I'm in the U.S. and overseas.
Okay.
Yep. Mostly overseas, just the price is usually an issue.
Still, huh?
It is. Yeah.
Okay. You do like hybrids, like, okay, I'm going to do, well, you're here in the US, right? So do you ever do like some phases, maybe the beginning phases in the US, and then say, okay, now for bulk orders, we're going to go to China when it's perfected? Like, how does that work?
So usually it's easier to start overseas.
Really?
Yeah. And it's because usually when you try to manufacture something in America, it's like, okay, well, I'll make the plastic parts, but I'm not making them rubber buttons. And I'm like, come on, man. And then I got to like, oh, and that packaging, you got to call somebody else. So now I'm calling like,
why you got to use this as an
I don't know, man. Because I'm in the sun.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? So basically we end up having to work with 2 or 3 manufacturers instead of just one.
Yeah.
So it makes it more work for us. It's more opportunity for errors.
Okay. So China, India, they have one shop.
Well, they'll still be working with other people, but they're handling everything in one shot.
Okay.
So, they're basically doing the same thing, but it's harder to do it here than it is over there.
Really? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And the pricing is crazy, man. Like, where's this? Okay, for example, right? And especially when you're talking about short runs, like, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 pieces. This is a fold-up box, right?
Okay.
And it fits 4 drinks in there. It's full color, right? And this was basically like a $1 a piece overseas, or I think just under $1 a piece overseas.
Okay.
And it was like $4 or $5 in the States.
Wow.
So it annoys me, man, because I try to keep products here. I spend my time, I look, and I ask, I call, I get things quoted, but the number is usually so much, it's just too much, man.
It's just a labor cost?
It's everything. Yeah. And then if it's not, it's being made over there and they're charging you for it over here anyway.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy, right?
So yeah,
that's something else, man.
So yeah, I always keep an eye on it, and every once in a while we'll quote the same product in the US that we're doing overseas.
So you're doing the package design too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Branding, packaging.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I want my client to have a number of what it's going to cost to make his product in the box, ready to go. Right? An out the door number.
Yeah.
And then we stay involved in the project all the way until that package gets sent to them to their doorstep.
Yeah.
And so throughout all the manufacturing process, we stay involved.
So what do you do when someone comes to you and says, "Hey, like I found this patent product. I found this product with a patent on it, and I want to make a product just like it." What do you do? What do you say to them?
So I say we got to call Derek and see how we can work around this patent.
Dang. Yeah. So do you do that?
We do, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, well, so I've worked many years designing products for that's sold inside of Husky and Lowe's and Home Depot and what?
Like hand tools?
Hand tools, screwdrivers, flashlights, measuring tapes. So I've done, lots of different tools, screwdrivers, flashlights, mechanics tools, all that kind of stuff. And what happened was that, how many different ways can you draw a screwdriver?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And especially when there's 100 other companies out there that are also drawing scrudrivers or
Right.
making other things like that. I mean, there are different ways you can do things, you know. And so what happens is that one of the jobs part of my job was looking at things and figuring out, okay, how can we get around that? How can we do that differently enough that we can get a patent on it?
Yeah.
So
cool.
And we did that for like about 5 years. So yeah, there's definitely ways. I mean, look how many cars are out there. There's always a way to work around technology. You got to change the technology. You have to change it somehow, right? A
barrier, right? This is a barrier, right? So, people always ask me, just like I'm dealing with your clients too, is, hey, can we get around this patent? And the answer is maybe. Yeah. But we got to look deep into the patent history and see what was said between the patent office and the examining attorney and the applicant attorney.
That's public data?
Yeah, it's public data. That's actually one of the biggest reasons why. What's one of the biggest time sucks for the attorneys when we analyze those patents. We have to look and see the back and forth on it, because every single word in the patent claim makes a difference, and depending on what was said to the patent office, it may actually limit the rights to the invention a lot. So that's when we do those infringement analysis, which is when you come to me and say, hey, what do we need to do to get around this? We give you an infringement analysis to see, hey, would this product be infringing, or can we get around that? That is some of those things that we look at as the back and forth between the patent office. I can even show you where it is online if you want. Thanks. So yeah, you could, there's things you can look at. So if you go to, it's Patent Center, okay, and there's actually something called public pair, which I don't see right now. Hold on. Private pair. Now, private pair is like for your own. So let me see here. It should be public center. Hold on. I have to log in to show you exactly, but you can actually see the back and forth between the patent office and here you go. So you can look up an application. So for example, what's your application? And we'll look at you up.
All right. So this one is for an electrical magnetic plug connector that we got a patent on May 23rd, 2017. Patent number is 9660.
9660.
378.
378.
It says B2 at the end. What does that mean? What does that mean? What does B2 mean?
B2 is this. Let's see. Okay, so all right, so you can actually see all the back and forth between. So this is what actually I work with you on this patent, so you can see all the documents.
Dude, there's that. What?
Yeah. So
wow.
You can see what we originally filed. You can see here this track 1 request that we paid the government to go make it faster.
See, I told you.
All right, we can.
Certification. They asked for all that microentity certifications.
Yeah. So then you can see, like, here is the office action that they gave us. All right, this is the office. So all the corresponds back and forth, and what we say to the government back to them. Here's our arguments that we responded to. That all makes a difference. So when someone says, "Hey, am I going to be infringing?" and they say, "Just give me a quick answer," I'm like, I gotta read this whole file. I can't,
Yeah,
so,
there's no quick answer to that. Yeah.
And actually, it's also a lot of liability. You're asking an attorney, "Hey, am I going to get sued?" Right? If I get sued, what's going to happen? So it's a lot of liability for attorneys. We do it a lot. But that's something you can think about as the Patent Center. Yeah, and you can see.
That's really cool, man. I'm glad you're showing me this because I really didn't know how much back and forth and how many documents. I mean, I remember signing a bunch of stuff, man, but it feels like more when I look at it right there.
Yeah, it's a lot, man. Cool. But yeah.
Any final messages to people that are listening to you? I really, people that reach out to me asking for a lawyer. I mean, you're one of my top.
Appreciate it, buddy. My final advice is when you're working with a product development company, you got to go with someone who you trust and that you like working with, because you'll be working with for a long period of time. So make sure your personalities fit, because your personality may not be fit for everybody. So make sure that you like the person you're working with, because you'll be dealing with them for a long term. That's it.
That's great advice, man. And I think that goes for the patent attorney as well, man, because this is something that happens for 20, if you're going to be, these patents are for 20 years or 17 years, right?
That's 20 years, yeah.
Which one's 20, which one's 17?
Well, it's.
Are they 50, both 20?
No, it's 20. So patents used to be 17.
Okay.
For utility patents, it used to be 17, but they changed to 20. Design patents are 15 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
We didn't get to this one question, man. We're not going to wrap it up. We're not wrapping it up yet. One final thing. When does it make sense to have a design patent?
Oh, we talked about that already?
We talked about that most people get them.
Oh, yeah.
But like,
if a product looks cool and you think, man, here's a good example. You have a cool bottle. Like, for example, like there's a cool bottle. You're like, oh man, it's a cool bottle. Mm-hmm. And you buy that bottle, you buy like the sunscreen or.
We did that one. We did the one. What was that project called, man?
I forget.
Sugar.
Man. Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It was the bottle in the shape of a female figure.
So sometimes when a product looks cool, you want to buy it, right? Yeah. Like, you see like Casa Azul, product looks cool, you want to buy it.
Yeah.
That's when you typically would get a design patent or what's called trade dress. But that's for a different conversation.
So, okay. So you would want a design patent when you're creating a product that needs to look good?
Yes. Or also trade dress. But that's a different story. We could talk about that later.
Yeah, I'm not sure how
Trade
that.
dress is so trade dress like Casa Azul. Like when you look at the Casa Azul, you know what Casa Azul is? Tequila, right? Where they got the bell on the top.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that
Yeah,
one.
when you see the bottle, you know exactly what kind of quality you're going to get. That will be that bottle. The shape of that bottle is entitled to a design patent, but also the shape of the look and feel of the bottle is also entitled to what's called trade dress. That's a whole other conversation.
Okay. Well, we're gonna pick that up then on the next one.
Deal.
Because yeah, I've never heard about really how that relates to it. So
hey man, I got a video on it. You can check it out.
I'll do that, man.
All right, cool. Hey man, thanks for
Thank you.
having me.
Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah.
We'll see you again.
Yep.
Hey guys, thanks for watching our Inventors Podcast. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stay updated on new upcoming podcasts and videos. Also, that helps the algorithms better understand who to send this kind of data to so that we can get shown to more people like you and ourselves, entrepreneurs, inventors, and designers. Our Instagram and TikTok is at Lime Design 3D, and our website is limecreativedesign.com.